If you're running a marketing agency or working with a lot of clients, you'll notice that there are a lot of tasks where you need to pause, ask the client a question, and then wait for their response. But it can be hard to stay on top of them, and it's very easy for them to slip through the cracks if the client doesn't answer you. So what do? Well, what I did is I set up a automatic reminder workflow. So the idea is when I change a task to waiting in ClickUp, then it calls a webhook with a unique flow that I've set up for myself. So I'm going to show you how I set this whole thing up. I used n8n, but you can use a lot of different tools to do the same thing. I think Zapier could do something like this. It would probably be a lot easier to do in Integromat or Make, but n8n is really cheap and it's open source, well, sort of open source, so I often use n8n instead. So what we do here is we have the webhook that is called from ClickUp, and then I have a simple wait step. Now I've set this to 5 seconds for demonstration purposes, but you can set it to 2 days, which is what I have it. Alright, next thing we do is after that wait period, we call ClickUp for that same task ID that we received in the webhook, and we say, hey, is this still waiting? So all we're doing here is doing a get operation on the same task that we received from the webhook. And then next stage is to check if there is a reminder or a no reminder tag on that task. So what I've done is I've added a way for me to not get reminded. And this is really important to me, that it's a configurable automation. I don't like getting notifications that I can't stop. So I've added a way to add a tag to a task called no reminder, and this will completely disable this workflow for that task. So this just checks quickly through the array of tags attached to a task and sees if no reminder is there. If so, it returns true. If false, it returns false. Last thing we do is we check a couple things. First, we check if the status is still waiting, and then we also check on the no reminder tag. If it passes both of those conditions, finally, we send the Slack message. And the Slack message contains information about the last date it was updated, and I've set it to my local time so that it's easy to read. I include the name of the task, the URL to the task so you can quickly get to it, the name of the client, and then finally a way to stop reminding me about that task. And that's really key. I don't want to have to go into ClickUp and add the no reminder tag. I want to be able to just click a link to stop the notifications if I don't need them anymore. And lastly, it will automatically stop if I get the information from the client and change the status. Then this condition will fail and it will fall off a cliff and stop doing this loop. Okay, now how did I do the rest of this workflow? Well, what I did is I set up a link that would allow me to call ClickUp's API and add the tag to that task. So the way it works is I have this link for my site on a page called add tag to task, and I have the URL parameter of task ID. And this is coming from the earlier get operation that we did to get the task ID. Okay, so the task ID is included there as a parameter. And then on that page, I have some code. So I get Axios, which is it just helps with making web requests. And then I start my script. I grab the task ID from the URL. I check if it's null. If it's not null, then I log it just for my purposes. And then I make a post request to my webhook, which I will be changing the URL to that as soon as this video is done. But basically, this will call another n8n flow, and it's very simple. All it does is it grabs the webhook, and then it adds a no reminder tag to the task, and the task ID comes from that webhook. So all I'm doing is making it really simple for me to just click a link and then get that no reminder tag added. Okay, so just to show you how it works, let's go ahead and set to waiting, and we should get a notification pretty soon. 5 seconds to be exact. There we are. Okay, this task has been waiting for a couple days. Last updated 7:15 a.m. test task, and the link is here. This is the client, and then I got stop reminding me. Now it's sending multiple times because it's on a loop for every 5 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and click this, and hopefully it will cease. Yep, we got no reminder on here, and these will stop coming through. So that's all there is to it. And one thing I'll mention is you could make this even better if you want to have a configurable amount of time to wait between reminders. So you could set a new set of tags like wait-1 day, wait-2 days, or whatever. And then you could configure the wait step in your flow here. You could do this get request first here before the wait step, check how many days to wait, and then dynamically change the amount of wait time between those steps. So that's a way that you can configure how often you want to be reminded. And I'm sure we can do a lot more cool things as well. You can set up a custom field with a remind me date, and that would be great as well if you want to be reminded on a specific date. But to be honest, for that I would just use due date with a notification. So your results may vary on that, but hope this was helpful for you, and hope it inspires some additional creativity on top of it. Thanks.